Today we're going to show you how to turn some of those eBay purchases into something like this on square bases and half done into something like this with a brand new terrain round base using some of the great resin options out there.
Spiky bits. Make sure you stay in the trenches by becoming a supporter over on Patreon and also scoring yourself some free miniature swag in the process. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Check out our site, spikybits.com, for all the hot hobby tutorials, news, rumors on all your favorite hobby topics. And head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.
What's up, hobby maniacs? Rob Baer here today with another exciting tutorial. Now it's Hobby Hump Day and we all know what that means, another fresh tutorial or tips and tricks video on the latest rule set from Games Workshop. But we got a video tutorial for you today because it's a little bit slower and we like that because we get to paint more stuff around the studio instead of scouring through textbooks like college students, which there's nothing wrong with that. I love me a good college class, but it's nice to get that refresher of, that ramped up release schedule. So like I was saying, today we're going to show you how to take some of those great eBay purchases or stuff you might find in your closet or have left over or trade for a buddy that might be half done, might be on the wrong size base for Age of Sigmar, and put it on a round size base and get some sweet looking texture and definition from your bases, because let's face it, round bases give you more room to work with here and make look a lot better on the tabletop, I feel like. And we all know painted minis, well, they always play better, right? So this tutorial is going to show you how to flip your fantasy models to Age of Sigmar models and try to keep the color scheme true. So, you can get a lot of stuff out there on eBay with square bases, but a lot of people want them on the rounds for the Age of Sigmar. If that's the case, well, it's easy to do. Just get some pre-made resin bases from any of the companies out there. I think this is Secret Weapon Mini Wasteland, I want to say, which could definitely put that guy right over top. Now, Elric's Hobbies has some great bases out there. Mark Garage Studio, Dragon Forge, all those guys out there. Great stuff all the way around. Just pick something you like and go with it. So first off, for this particular tutorial, to try to maintain this color tone, because it is a good one and I like it, we're gonna use Steel Legion Drab, Talaran Sand, and Carex Stone. All the airbrush colors. Don't exactly like the Citadel airbrush paints, but we're gonna rock it out. So over top of a gray primer, we're gonna start with the Steel Legion Drab, which these don't require a whole lot of work to go through the airbrush, fortunately / unfortunately, whichever you want to call it. So I'm just going to dump it in here and you're going to see, hey, that's pretty watery, let's face it. That's no joke right there. Now what I like to do, per the norm, even though this stuff's a little watery, is grab my little brush and just get in here and stir it up just to make sure, just to check for any chunks or anything like that. And now I want a Frappuccino. Let me tell you what. Mocha Frappuccino, where are you? Anywho, that's looking good. That's looking good. I'm okay with that. Let's see how it sprays. Ooh, just cleaned it out. Yeah, it's looking good. Alright, so basically, in the airbrush, we're just going to hose this down. Now, on the other two colors, we're going to dry brush it on after a wash of, I don't even know, I think we'll go with a flesh shade, maybe a sepia, I'm not sure. But basically, step one is pretty much this on however many bases you want. Just get a nice good base coat in there and then just let it dry. I wish there was a spray in this color because that would make it a lot easier. Rattle cans sometimes for this sort of thing are easy, but we've got this and we're making it work. Okay, so very first step is we're going to get in here with some Reichsland Flesh Shade. Shake this up. This isn't the gloss version. My buddy James stole my gloss version for his Gore Chosen, but that's okay. We're going to come in here, we're going to hit it hot with some of this normal stuff, which is perfectly okay. And we're just going to get in there and blast it into place. Now, this is where having that little fan that I've shown you many times, and I'll show it to you again here in a second when I sprout my third arm,
Or I'll just have to wait till I finish base coating this, I suppose. So here is everything. Nice, good coat of wash all around it. Boom, rinse off my brush. Brush care is paramount here at the Spiky Bits Studios. And here's that little portable fan. So I am going to take this bad boy, turn on my fan, and let it dry really quick, and we'll come back and do the first highlight. Now that the wash is dry, nice and dark, and you can tell the difference between the two colors because there's the base coat, there's the wash. That flesh tone really did some work there. So we are going to use this Air Paint Tolerant Sand because, hey, guess what? It's just watered down regular paint. I don't have tolerant sand. I'm not going to keep buying all these paints from GW for $4 a pop. Let's be honest, that's just silly. But what I do have to buy over and over is dry brushes. You will wreck the crap out of dry brush. So this is dry brush number 552 for me, but it's all good in the hood. So we're going to take this, dab some paint on there. You can kind of see, oh, I've lost my paper towel. I have lost Calamity. I don't know where it went, but we'll get a new one. I keep a little dispenser right here. So we're just going to get all the excess off of this thing, which is super easy. Make sure we got nice little strokes right there of paint coming off, and I think we're good. And here we go. Just gonna get in here and blast it. Super nice and easy till I figure out what kind of strokes or what kind of paint transfusion we're getting. It's a little heavy in one spot. You can see it right there. That's okay. It's not. We'll just put a piece of flock over it or something at the end there. So I'm going nice and light here because there is a lot of paint on this thing, a little bit more than I would like. So I'm going a little light. If there wasn't coming off, I would go in and hit it with some nice hard strokes. But like I said, because the paint is coming off very easily, I don't want to overpower it, and we're just gonna hit it with that. So it's you know, it's okay around this corner here, not what I would like, but over, you know, drying time and on 20 different bases, it's really not going to matter. And we'll put a piece of flock right there to block it all up. So that was super easy. Now normally you would take this, I'm going to do 20 of these bases, but I would take this and I would rinse it off. But the real thing to do is just try to get every fleck of paint off and then switch to your next color, which we will go the extra mile to get off. This is Karak Stone Layer Paint, which I happen to have. And, oh, wow, I haven't even opened this bad boy yet. All right, then. So we're just going to get a little bit on here because I don't want to go too crazy with it. I'm going to get it off on the paper towel here, trying to make sure. Yep, okay, I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good because we're going to want a nice light dry brush coat across here. I'll start on this upper top here. Now if you're wondering, if you're like, man, how much paint do I have in here, you can always hit it on the back side or on the lip just to make sure. And we're just going to go across here nice and light, and you can see that there's in the cracks there lots of definition, lots of contrast, and that's what we want. Contrast equals pop equals people looking at your armies. So there it is. Alright, so let's take a look at how this compares to the existing base, and it looks pretty good. This base right here just appears to have various flocks glued to it, so this will work out pretty good, I feel like. And we just need to add a few tufts to it, and I think it will be fine. Next step is pretty self-explanatory. You just bust the model off the old base, glue them onto the new base, and we're almost done. So right now I'm gonna lip the model here, and then we're gonna put some pieces of tufts on it. So we're going back to the base color here, Steel Legion Drab, super easy. Now if you get a little lucky and grab the right brush, which, there we go, pull some of this onto your palette and make sure it's not too watered down but also not too chunky, and we can probably just hit that lip really quick all the way around in one pass, which I'm hoping we can do right here. So let's see. Man, it's got a little bit of fuzz on there, so we'll water it down a little bit more.
Sometimes this is the tricky part because you want to make sure you get a nice good base coat so it doesn't rub off. There we go. There's a little bit of texture from the spray, the initial spray on this. And you can see it's really coming through right here. Now we're going to have to add a little bit of flock or tufts to this to really make it pop, which I think should be pretty easy. I feel like I'm going to go with probably like a burnt. Right now it looks too bright, so we need to bring it down. We're going to go with something dark, probably like a burnt grass or something from the Army Painter, kind of like we did with the Ogres. So there's that nice solid lip, boom, and that sweet shield. And now all we have to do is let this dry for a hot minute and attach some tufts to it. So let's see. While we're waiting for that to dry, let's select Wasteland Tufts right there. And got a few of them left, not too many. I don't know if I'm gonna have 20 of them to put on here, but we'll give it the old college try there. So you can see that's still a little wet, so we're gonna have to be careful here. We're just gonna gangster it in. Now, one of the little things is, see that little piece of white paint right there? Well, that's where I scraped it off, pulling it off the base. So I'm gonna cover that up with a piece of tuft for sure here. So I grabbed my little tuft, I'm gonna dunk it in some white glue off camera and come back right into here where we need to be. And booyah, cover up that fat mistake. It's going to give us that definition. I think I might put one right there in front, so I'm going to find a small one and give it a light dunk. And go right here with it. Oh yeah, boom. So now you're kind of getting the feel for this model. I think it's pretty good. I don't want to go with a yellow tuft. I feel like it would take back. I need to stay darker. So we'll kick that over to dry and come back and see how it looks. Alright, so I flipped the script on everything there. I actually went in and used dryad bark to redo the lip around the bottom to get that pop, that contrast we always talk about on here. And I even added in a little bit more contrast with some yellow meadow flowers from Battlefield. Army Painter's Battlefields line. So they're pretty cool and they work beautifully in this little scenario here. So now we've got that pop, we've got that contrast, and we have turned some eBay trash, I guess you could say, or some used miniature trash into treasure. So here's what we got now, and let's see what we started with. Something like this. Not too shabby. With the addition of the airbrush shield and a new round base, these guys are ready to battle in the Age of Sigmar.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.